The main reason you may not be wealthy yet is your limited thinking about what is possible in your life. You've settled in your mind, and likewise, your money has settled at a certain level that you are comfortable with, but not necessarily happy with. Let me read that one more time. Hey, homegirl or homeboy, I am Kiani, the responsible homegirl, and this is the space that I have created to help you stop wasting your money and become financially responsible so that you can live the life of your dreams, not just one that you settle for. So today I'm going to be talking about something that we all love: comfort. We love to feel comfortable, cozy. We don't really want to step outside of our comfort zones. And when we do step out of our comfort zones, we got to have a whole, mental talk. I'm talking to myself as well. But I want to tell you that your comfort is costing you. I want you to leave this conversation saying, I'm going to do a better job at stepping outside of my comfort zone. So even if it's hard, even if I don't know the unknown, even if, I am scared, shaking in my boots, I'm going to do my best to step outside of my comfort zone. So starting off, a couple of months ago, I was listening to Rod Wave's new album. And I say a couple of months, it was sometimes last year, whenever his new album dropped or his most recent album dropped. And in the song Angel with an Attitude, he said, life is about choices and you live with what you choose. And immediately, as soon as I heard it, I'm talking about on the first play. The first play when you listening to an album, you listening to all the lyrics, you listening to what they got to say. And I heard that and I was like, he is right. He is so right. Life is about choices and you got to live with what you choose. So whether those choices are good, whether those choices are bad, choices are, to me, like compound interest. They just stack up on top of each other. And then we get 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. And then we look back at our lives and be like, wow, we are the reason why we're here. So I started this conversation off with that reference because I want you to know that whatever financial situation you're in right now, it's all your fault. I want you to take full accountability and responsibility for your current financial situation. Why? Because that's like you grabbing your power back. If this is all my fault, I have the power to focus on what I can control and change what I do not like. So this is the whole premise of our conversation today, talking about our comfort, getting out of our comfort zone, and on the other side of what we can experience if we step outside of our comfort zone. Girl, stop wasting your money. A reminder that all of us needs, and a budgeting planner that I created just for you. So the new Responsible Homegirl budgeting planners are in, and I am so excited to share them with you. They are luxurious. They will help you stop living paycheck to paycheck and manage your money so that you can live the life that you actually want, not just one that you settle for. When you think about your finances, I want you to feel confident. I want you to feel in control. I want you to feel like that girl. I also want to add, if you purchase the Responsible Homegirl Budgeting Planner, you will get access to using AI to manage your money better, my brand new workshop where you will use AI, partner with your planner to budget your money and take your finances to a whole nother level at no additional cost. Let me put that in there. So the Responsible Homegirl Budgeting Planner is available just for you. Go get yours today. So I am currently reading this new book. Well, not new book because I told y'all about this book before. And in the video that I was telling y'all about the book, I had this book since like 2021, 2022. It's called Rich and Righteous. This is the book. Spiritual Secrets to Mastering Money, Manifestation in Your Mind by Julian Gordon. And I had this book for so long. But when I first got this book, I wasn't ready to receive what was in this book. Now that I'm more mature, I have grown spiritually, personally, emotionally, just all of the things. I know that I am in a place now where I can receive the words that are written in this book. So on page 48, this is the chapter. It says, the real reason you may not be wealthy yet. Read y'all something that Julian Gordon says. The way that Julian has his book set up is like these big chapters, and inside of the big chapters are like small sub chapters. So the title of this sub chapter is The Real Reason You May Not Be Wealthy Yet. And underneath each chapter, he has a scripture that he references. Most of the time, the scriptures are in the New King James Version. So most of the time, I have to read them and then go to the NLT or the NIV to really get a good understanding of what the verse actually says. But I'm going to still read it anyway. The verse is Genesis 19 through 20, and it says, Lot says to the angels, I can't flee to the mountains. The disaster will overtake me, and I'll die. Look, here's a town near enough to run to, and it is small. Let me flee to it. It is very small, isn't it? Then my life will be spared. So now I'm about to start reading this first paragraph and what this whole entire video is inspired by. So it says, the main reason you may not be wealthy yet is your limited thinking about what is possible in your life. You've settled in your mind, and likewise, your money has settled at a certain level that you are comfortable with, but not necessarily happy with. Let me read that one more time before I keep going, because I know somebody listening to me right now needs to hear it just like I needed to hear this. And this video is only for the people who are taking control, who are taking power, who are not waiting on the sidelines, waiting for somebody to come save them, waiting for the one day. No, you are saying, I don't like this, so I'm going to change this. So let me read this again. The main reason you may not be wealthy yet is your limited thinking about what is possible in your life. You've settled in your mind, and likewise, your money has settled at a certain level that you are comfortable with, but not necessarily happy with. We aren't born with limiting beliefs. Most people's world starts big and then shrinks over time. This is why Jesus said, be childlike. One day while driving, my 5-year-old daughter asked me from her car seat, Daddy, why don't we have $50 million? At first, I was a little defensive and was prepared to give her a whole monologue about how ungrateful she was for what we have. Well, we are well off. But after I paused, I had to answer. My own limited thinking, baby. $50 million is more of a possibility to a 5-year-old who knows very little about life and business, yet than it is to an adult with a ton of education and experiences. Sometimes we know too much, and knowing too much can cause us to overthink and second guess ourselves. Kids think all things are possible until adults derail their dreams. Isn't that so powerful? Isn't that so powerful? So when I started off this conversation with your comfort is costing you, not only is your comfort costing you, but your limited beliefs, the way that you've seen things, maybe adults that have told you a certain thing in the past, like all of this stuff is stopping us from being, doing, experiencing what we want to experience. So what I'm going to do in the rest of this video, this is a very short sub chapter. So I want to read this chapter to you because I think it would be really beneficial to just hear it exactly from me. I used to do story time with the Responsible Homegirl, and I know people love them. They love just hearing this. And I believe the stuff in this book will cause you to make a commitment to step outside of your comfort zone. So I'm going to finish read these pages. I want to say it's only 3 pages. And after I finish read, I just want you to reflect, make that commitment to step outside of your comfort zone, and just do the internal work that it takes to become more childlike. I love the example that he used that a 5-year-old is more, they have like this anything is possible mentality. A 5-year-old compared to an adult with all this education and experiences. And we look at little kids like, they don't know no better. They so innocent. Just keep on living. And all of those things are true. But the Bible literally tells us, Jesus tells us, be childlike. Be childlike. Anything is possible with God. But when we start putting the focus on ourselves and just worrying about the wrong things and using our past, our education, our experiences, all of the stuff, that is how we shift from this possibility of abundance and anything is possible to, oh no, I can't do this limiting belief and self-doubt and all of the things. So I'm ranting a little bit here. So let me go ahead back to this chapter. Let's get into it. So he says, adulthood is the most dangerous neighborhood in the entire world. More dreams die there than anywhere else. If you use excuses, your kids will use excuses too. Generational and regenerational wealth is not just money, it's a mindset. Until you accept full responsibility for who you are, where you are, and why you will never be free. You can blame your parents, racism, sexism, student debt, the banks, the education system, the government, childhood trauma, etc. You can say, I'm too young, I'm too old, I'm too late, I have bad credit, I need to learn more, I have a learning disorder, I come from poverty, I'm a single parent, I'm divorced, I don't make enough. For every excuse you come up with, I can find 5 people who have stepped into abundance despite the crunch you are leaning on. You haven't accepted that abundance is your birthright, so you make excuses. Excuses or ex causes are the externalizations of a cause. You are giving power to something outside of yourself to determine the direction of your life. Based on that belief, you will never have what you desire in life unless someone or something outside of you changes first. That's a victim-based mindset. A child of God never plays the victim or plays small. Financially, it's time to pick up your math and walk. For my Bible readers, I'm pretty sure y'all remember that reference, pick up your mat and walk, when this guy, was he paralyzed? I want to say he was paralyzed for years on top of years. And he was sitting on the side of the street, like begging for somebody to help him. I want to say get into like a river or something. I'm thinking I'm recording this right. And people wouldn't help him. They would just walk past. And then Jesus was in town one day. And of course, same old thing is happening. And Jesus was like, tell me what you want. And he was like, I want to be able, dang, what did he say? Did he say, I want to see? I want to walk? He said, I want something. And Jesus looked at him and was like, pick up your mat and walk. And he picked up his mat and he walked. Like, it's crazy how miraculous it was. But I think it's also a testament to how we can just be so down and out. So just, I don't even really know how to say this, like begging and looking outside of ourselves for help, and instead of knowing that we have the power to just pick up our mat and walk. And I'm not saying this as a way of you can do all things, but no, you serve a God who can literally help you the whole way through. We don't have to look outside of ourselves and beg and wait for permission when God has literally already given us permission to do the thing that he has called us to do. So I know that was rambling a little bit all over the place, but pray that makes sense. If you want to build credit fast, I would highly recommend Kikoff. Kikoff has plans that start off with as little as $5 a month. There is no credit check, there are no hidden fees, and there are no interest rates. We love that. You know, I always tell you that credit is about building trust. So if you want to build up that trust and you want to see your credit improve, try Kikoff. Click the link, open up an account, and start building better credit today. Let's get back into the episode. So continuing on in the book. In the scripture, there's a story of Lot and his wife fleeing Sodom and Gomorrah. In Genesis 19 through 20, Lot says to the angels, I can't flee to the mountains. This disaster will overtake me and I'll die. Look, here's a town near enough to run to, and it is small. Let me flee to it. It is very small, isn't it? Then my life will be spared. Remember that many scriptures are allegorical. Allegorically, Lot was being instructed to go up to the mountains, which represents a higher level of thinking or consciousness above Sodom and Gomorrah, which represents lower level thinking. Sodomize means to go against the nature of God, so Sodom and Gomorrah represent thinking that goes against God. But instead, Lot chose to go to Zorah, which means small or insignificant in Hebrew. Lot felt it was safer to play small than to follow God's instruction, and we can do the same thing with money. I'm not disregarding your experiences. I'm just disempowering them from dictating the direction of your life. Ooh, that's so good. I'm gonna read that again. I'm not disregarding your experiences. I'm just disempowering them from dictating the direction of your life. We have the power to rise above any circumstance or condition we have been dwelling on or dwelling in. While every piece of evidence you present to make your case about why you are playing small may be 100% true, make you feel good, and let you off the hook, blaming doesn't serve you. It only enslaves you by empowering the people or condition you are blaming and thus diminishing your power. You are a child of God. Therefore, what would God the Almighty look like blaming the devil or anything for anything? That's blasphemy. If I am a millionaire, there are only three reasons. One more time. If I am a millionaire, there are only three reasons why my daughter is not a millionaire, yet they may also apply to you. Number one, not ready enough. She is not in my will, which means she is not ready to handle what I have to give her. She is not operating in alignment with how I, the Father, taught her or want the money in my control to be used. She is still my daughter and I still love her. That will never change. But I may allow someone else to serve as my trustee while making sure she is still provided for. When we are in alignment with God, which I define as righteousness, we are in the will, and all things whatsoever the mother father have are ours too. She may think she can handle having a dog or a car or a party, but her maturity level and decision making haven't shown it yet. God is faithful and he will not let you be tested beyond your strength. 1 Corinthians 10:13. On top of that, if you got everything you wanted at once, would you even be able to handle it? If you got everything you wanted today, then what? Enjoy the process of becoming and it's coming. So good. And it reminds me of this podcast that I was listening to one time, and it says, money comes to you when you're ready to receive it. And I believe we shouldn't wait for us to have this abundance or this, great amount of money to learn how to manage our money and start learning about financial education. That's too late. Start learning how to do those things now so you are creating the room for the money to come to you. You are getting prepared for the money. So don't just pray for a thing, but pray for the discipline, the strength, the wisdom to actually be able to maintain and multiply whatever it is that you're praying for. Number two, not receiving enough. She is not aware of what her father has for her. The most my daughter has dared to ask for out of her innocent 5-year-old mind or her humbleness is for a bike for her birthday. The bike was a big deal for her and she was overjoyed. But the idea of a bike was probably planted by seeing her friends with a bike or seeing a commercial about a bike. She assumed that this was the extent of what a parent could give. In the same way, God tends to only give to us according to the size of our acts. Ask and you shall receive. There is no limitation on the asking or receiving except our belief about what we think God is capable of giving us. When you know who you belong to, you also know what belongs to you. Number three, not reason enough. She doesn't need it yet. As we become more mature, we can discern needs versus wants. Our wants tend to get us in the most trouble financially, especially when we mistake them as needs. The best way to distinguish a need from a want is to ask yourself, what would having this allow me to do that I can't do right now without it? It is a need if it allows you to be more, do more, and have more good in God. In the same way that some parents give their kids an allowance, God gives you an allowance that allows you to do more than you currently can. For a kid, an allowance may allow them to get a car, get to work, get to sports practice, get their own food, or get their own clothes. As children of God, we ask for more money, but when we ask ourselves, what would having more money allow me to do that I can't do right now without it? Our inner response is shaky. Beyond meeting your immediate needs and those of your immediate family, how would $1 million allow you to do more good for God's children? QTNA, question that needs answered. You want $1 million, but you don't really need it. You don't have a vision big enough where you having $1 million is a requirement or a result. And that is precisely why you don't have it yet. If you don't believe that abundance is your birthright, it is because of your personal religion, which is your unique set of beliefs about God and who God is to you and in you. Your wealth has nothing to do with your ethnicity, gender, education, GPA, career paths, or political party. Your mother, father, God, who art in heaven, is as rich as you imagine them to be. If you don't feel rich right now, it is because you're not ready enough, you're not receiving enough, or you don't have reason enough. Through the 10 money commandments, we will remove these blockages in hopes to open the floodgates of financial prosperity into your life. So that is the short chapter on the real reason why you may not be wealthy yet. And this was so good. I read this before, and as I'm reading this, I'm like, I have to do a YouTube video on this, because not only is our comfort costing us, but like I said earlier, your self-doubt and your limiting beliefs are also costing you. So as you listen to this, or after listening to this, I hope that it has inspired you to look within, do the internal work so that your outside world can reflect your inside world. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Share it with someone, like it, comment your main takeaway, or comment any questions that you have so that we can keep this conversation going. And again, this book is called Rich and Righteous by Julian Gordon, The Spiritual Secrets to Mastering Money, Manifestation, and Your Mind. I hope that this episode was amazing and it has your wheels turning, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Have a good one.